Doctor, what is hepatitis?
Hepatitis is an inflammation of the liver because that's another name for the liver, hepatic cell.
Okay.
So when you hear hepatitis, it means an inflammation or a disease condition of the liver.
Wow. So what are the causes of hepatitis?
Okay, hepatitis can be caused by various agents. You have pathogenic, that is viral agents, and non-pathogenic agents. When you talk about the pathogenic or viral agents, there's what's the viral, the viruses that can cause hepatitis, like the hepatitis B virus. Okay, like the hepatitis B virus, the hepatitis C virus, the hepatitis A virus, and then D and E. So the causative agent could be the virus, or it could be food, it could be water, it could be drug, it could be alcohol, or toxins. Even drugs could be causes of hepatitis.
Okay. When you talk of food, what kind of food do you think could result or could cause this hepatitis?
Like fatty foods,
Really?
contaminated water, those are various causes of hepatitis E is caused mainly by contaminated water and food. So it's only in African areas or developing countries like Africa that you have the prevalence of the hepatitis E virus. So the cause of hepatitis E virus is contaminated foods and water, or dirty water.
Dirty water. So one should not take all those kind of fatty food in order not to...
So much fatty foods, yes, and then dirty water.
Okay. So what are the signs and symptoms of this hepatitis? How do I know that I'm having this hepatitis infection?
Yeah, there are different kinds of hepatitis presents with different kinds of signs. You could have fatigue. You could have dark urine. Your urine might get dark or pale depending. You will have jaundice, that's yellowiness of the eyes. Then you could have the same yellowish patch on the skin, as well. If I mentioned vomiting, diarrhea, abdominal pains, you could have fever, you could have headaches. They present with other kind of like malaria or typhoid. They may have similar kind of disease presentation. So in most cases, when you see people having weakness of the body, constant tiredness, fatigue, it could be related to hepatitis.
So you made mention of jaundice. Does that mean jaundice is related to hepatitis?
Yes. Hepatitis, as I earlier said, is inflammation of the liver, or a disease condition of the liver. Now, when there is hepatitis, when the liver is altered, blood is not properly broken down, or what you eat is not properly broken down. So you see that the unbroken blood gets to other parts of the body, like the eyes, the skin. You see some people's skin will be a little bit edematous or brittle. It's a sign of
Please, can
jaundice.
you break it down? Because I don't understand that in the English.
Okay, when you're talking about, hepatitis is going to be more abdominal. The liver is located in the stomach.
Yes.
Good. So, normally, anything you eat or drink must be broken in your liver. Do you understand? So, when there is a disease condition of the liver, you should expect that the liver will not function properly. So amongst the effects of the liver is to destroy used red blood cells. You understand?
In a situation whereby what you take in is not broken down.
Yeah.
So that it shows that probably is going to cause hepatitis or thereabouts.
Yes, those could lead to non-viral hepatitic condition. So that's why we talk about poor feeding, poor fatty foods, and then late eating. These are things that could
When you
predispose
say
to
late
this.
eating, like what time is too late
Late
for
eating
one?
depends on the individual. If you're somebody that does increased activities, like for those students that read a lot at night, they could see it's late, quite late, 10, 11, 12, depending, because
Really?
yes, the brain is doing a lot of activities, late readers. But if you're somebody that sleeps early, maybe by 9, 10 p.m. you're already asleep, you shouldn't eat later than 5, 6 p.m.
Okay, so that you won't be
Yeah,
caught up with hepatitis.
yes.
Okay, what are the different types of these hepatitis? Because I do mostly it's like okay.
Okay, as I was just mentioning some of them, you have hepatitis A. It's practically self-limiting. Hepatitis A incubation could be between 14 to 28 days. Hepatitis A is not a problem. It could limit on its own. It can go on its own. We have, and it's also caused by a viral infection, hepatitis A virus. But it's not seriously a problem, that much of a problem. Then you have hepatitis B, which is more of the one that has the issue. The hepatitis B virus is caused by the hepatitis B virus. That becomes quite chronic. The acute one could be treated, but the chronic one needs a long period of time. Then you have the hepatitis C virus, which you also have to, which presents itself in a chronic condition. Then you have the hepatitis D virus. In most
So
conditions,
is it that it grows from stage to stage, from A to
there are
from
different
B?
types. Actually,
Okay, it's
these
not
are
as if, it's
different
not as if
types.
it grows
Yes,
from stage to stage.
yes. It's
Okay.
sometimes it's maybe the hepatitis D virus that requires the hepatitis B to project itself.
Okay.
So for somebody to really come down with hepatitis D virus, he needs the hepatitis B virus in him too, or her. Then you have the hepatitis E virus. So the hepatitis E virus too is also to some extent limiting. It's caused by um, the hepatitis E is basically what is caused by contaminated foods and water.
Okay. So these hepatitis A, B, C, they have different um, symptoms. They have different things that causes them to react on human body. Like for instance, somebody is diagnosed with hepatitis B. Does it show that there's a particular reaction that is causing that hepatitis B or what?
They could all present themselves with the same kind of clinical condition. Hepatitis A, B, C, D, and E, they could all present themselves with the same clinical conditions. Just that the B and the C have more chronic presentation. Chronic in the sense that they could last for a longer period, so you require with that longer period of the chronic condition or the long presentation, you have that easy exposure to have a total liver cirrhosis or total damage to your liver. So that's why B and C are basically the problem we could have in the world today.
Okay, that was a good one. We go on a break now, and when we come back, we'll be enlightening you on preventive measures and best way to treat hepatitis. Don't go away.
Welcome to Asset Television, your best station for news, politics, business, sports and entertainment. Your one-stop channel, Asset Television. Welcome to Asset Television.
Okay.
In case you are just joining us, you're watching Healthy Living. So, Doctor, I want to know which preventive measures can one apply to avoid this infection?
Okay. Hepatitis, in same with many other disease conditions, you need clean conditions, clean and healthy conditions. Now, hepatitis could be transmitted through various body fluids.
Okay.
You have the secretions from the body. You have even seminal secretions, vaginal secretions, blood, saliva in some cases. These are the sources of transmission. So if before you get to prevent hepatitis, you need to know how it can be transmitted. So the transmission processes are, as I said, contaminated water, contaminated foods, food and water that may have been contaminated with the virus in different stages, then contaminated blood, sharing of sharp objects, blades, pins, between an infected person and a non-infected person. Then you also have the, as I said, that means sex is one of them too, because exchange of fluid, individual fluid, maybe vaginal fluid or seminal fluid, from an infected to a non-infected person. So these are the mode of transmission. So to prevent them is to stay away from some of all these things, or to have a clean condition.
Okay. So how deadly do this infection? How deadly can it be on human? How is it that bad that without these works that you have just told us, can it actually affect somebody that it will lead to death instantly, or how?
Hepatitis might not lead to instant death. It's more or less progressive. Hepatitis is normally progressive because before the liver will completely get damaged, that means that disease or the hepatitis condition in such an individual has prolonged for a long time. So it would have been damaging the liver over time. So hepatitis, most especially death from hepatitis, is not always acute. It's over a period of time. It's always a chronic condition.
It's okay. Well, on the final note, doctor, how best can this infection be treated?
Well, as I said, hepatitis A virus is not much of a problem. It could be self-limiting on its own. Self-limiting in the sense that it goes down on its own. Hepatitis B and C hepatitis B and C are the major problems we have because, as I said, they present themselves with a chronic condition. When they affect the liver, their situation is chronic. So when they remain, they keep damaging the liver and then predisposing one to other disease condition in the body. So that's why hepatitis B and C are more of the problem. Then hepatitis D and E, quite also self-limiting, though D requires B to function, to be more of a problem to the individual. But D and E also, just like A, are not that very life-threatening compared to B and C. Then treatments for hepatitis, well, one has tested, because your doctor should assist you in your diagnosis. If you start observing some of all those signs that we had mentioned earlier, you see your doctor, he could recommend some tests for you. Now when you go for some of all those tests, with your test results, you meet back your doctor. Don't treat hepatitis on your own. You have to meet your doctor, because
it's not something you don't treat on yourself.
No.
Go to the chemist, get a drug,
No,
and start
no,
treating
no.
immediately.
No, it's important you go back to your doctor, because there are different types of drugs and at different stages. And if you do your test and you're lucky to be free of hepatitis, get vaccinated.
Okay.
Yes, you get vaccinated.
It's all right. You've had it all from doctor. Don't forget this. Health is wealth. Health is beauty. Health is everything you need in life. Pay attention to your health. Treat every symptoms of diagnosis. Till we meet again next week, keep watching Healthy Living on Asset Television. Bye for now.
Welcome to Ascent Television, your best station for news, politics, business, sports and entertainment. Your one-stop channel, Asset Television. Welcome to Asset Television, your best station for news. Welcome to Asset Television, your best station for news, politics, business, sports and entertainment. Your one-stop channel, Asset Television.
Hello, welcome to Healthy Living. My name is Blessing Chima. On our menu today, we'll be discussing on hepatitis. With me here is Dr. Chima. Dr. Chima, you're welcome.
Thank you very much.
Doctor, what is hepatitis?
Hepatitis is an inflammation of the liver, because that's another name for the liver, hepatic cell. Mm-hmm. So when you hear hepatitis, it means an inflammation or a disease condition of the liver.
Wow. So what are the causes of hepatitis?
Welcome to Asset Television, your best station for news, politics, business, sport and entertainment. Your one-stop channel, Asset Television.
Hello and thanks for staying with us on Asset Television. Welcome to the news. I am Eugenia Solomon. The headlines. Aviation workers threaten to shut down till September 18th. Court sentences teenager to 6 months imprisonment for stealing. Nigeria Civil Defense Corps arrest cable vandals in Benin. The details. Aviation Workers Union have concluded plans to shut all airports across the country from September 18th. This is following the refusal of the federal government to accede to their call for the reversal of the 50% deduction policy from the internally generated revenues of agencies in the aviation sector. The strike notice was made known through a statement and signed by the General Secretary of the National Union of Air Transport Employees, Ocheme Agba, and Deputy General Secretary of the Air Transport Services, Senior Staff Association of Nigeria, Francis Akinjole. Others are the Secretary General of ANAP, Abdulrazak, the General Secretary of the National Association of Aircraft, and the General Secretary of the Amalgamated Union of Public Cooperation, Civil Defense Technical and Recreational Services Employees, Sikiru Wahid. The unions include the National Union of Air Transport Employees, the Air Transport Services Senior Staff Association of Nigeria, the Association of Nigeria Aviation Professionals, the National Association of Aircraft Pilots and Engineers, and the Amalgamated Union of Public Cooperation Civil Service Technical and Recreational Services Employees. The unions warned that critical safety activities within these agencies were already being compromised due to the financial strain imposed by the deductions. They further cautioned that they would not be held responsible if the aviation industry becomes dysfunctional due to these financial constraints. The ultimatum given to the Minister of Aviation on the same has expired since the end of August 2024. A teenager simply known as Amo has been sentenced to 6 months imprisonment after he pleaded guilty to a 2-count charge of conspiracy and stealing of clothes worth 3 million naira by Justice Yusuf Bashir. Yusuf ordered that he should be kept in the Agodi Correctional Facility in Ibadan. He, however, gave the convict the option of paying a 30,000 naira fine and 1 million naira restitution to the complainant. Earlier, the prosecutor, Philip Amusan, had told the court that Amo committed the offences with some others still at large on April 3rd at Ogungpa Market in Ibadan. Amusan said the convict who worked at the market stole a bag containing different types of clothes belonging to one Columbia Omeboro. A report by the National Bureau of Statistics (NBS) disclosed that Nigeria's total merchandise trade during the period under review currently stands at 31.8 trillion naira, representing a decrease of 3.76% over the value recorded in the preceding quarter, but a rise of 150.39% compared to the value recorded in the corresponding period of 2023. It said the trade balance in the second quarter remained positive at 6.94 trillion naira, indicating an increase of 33.63% compared to the value recorded in the preceding quarter. It stated that exports accounted for 60.89% of total trade, showing a marginal increase of 1.31% compared to value recorded in the first quarter of 2024 and a 201.76% rise over the value recorded in the second quarter of 2023. On the other hand, it said importation decreased to 10.71 when compared with the value recorded in first quarter of 2024 and a rise of 97.73% from the value recorded in the corresponding quarter of 2023. Now, Regional Director of the Christian Broadcast Network CBN Anglophone Africa, Dr. Felix Oyisamoje, has advised Nigerian journalists not to engage in any form of self-censorship. He gave this advice on the occasion of the 30th anniversary celebration of CBN on Thursday in Abuja. Oyisamoje also urged the federal government to stand firm in dealing with insurgency currently bedeviling the country. He also outlined the journey of the Christian Broadcasting Network in the last 30 years in Nigeria.
The Christian Broadcasting Network was registered in Nigeria as the 700 Club. In the 3 decades that have passed so swiftly, Nigeria and Anglophone West Africa have enjoyed a wide bouquet of programming that caters to the whole family. From Super Bowl and Flying House designed for children but enjoyed by everyone, to One Cube and One Cube Nigeria for the youth and music lovers, to programs like our indigenous 700 Club Nigeria, Living the Life, Heart to Heart, You Were There, and TPI, formerly known as Turning Point International. Designed for the older audience, every program is carefully and prayerfully produced to bring lasting hope and positive impact to the viewers.
Dr. Oyisamoje also hinted that lots of activities including novelty match, visits to orphanage, Super Book Fun Day, among others, have been lined up in the course of the celebration. If you are just joining us, you are watching the news on Assets Television. We will be right back.
Welcome to Ascent Television, your best station for news, politics, business, sport and entertainment. Your one-stop channel, Ascent Television. Welcome to Ascent.
Welcome back and many thanks for staying tuned. Now the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps NSCDC command in Edo State has arrested 3 suspects for an alleged cable vandalism. The Corps says they were caught while attempting to steal armored cable from the street light in Benin. The command's public relations officer Efosa Egbebo said that the suspects were arrested on Ushelu to Lagos Road on September 8th in collaboration with some personnel of the Edo Security Network. He said that the suspects Friday Alex, 32, Favor Oji, 25, and Daniel Biaru, 23, were caught impersonating personnel of the local security network at about 2 a.m., adding that during interrogations, they confessed to vandalizing and stealing of about 100 feet of cable the previous week. Ogbebo said that the suspect would be charged to court once the investigation into the case was concluded. The Nigeria Union of Journalists NUJ has described the allegation of planned tenure elongation of its Central Working Committee as baseless and misleading. The NUJ National Secretary Achike Chude, in a statement issued in Abuja, said the union noted with concern recent online reports alleging an illegal extension of its Central Working Committee by 6 weeks. Chude said that the allegations leveled by Abdul Wahid regarding supposed tenure elongation suggested a worrying ignorance of the workings of the NUJ. According to him, the request to extend the Central Working Committee's tenure by 6 weeks was made collectively in the best interest of the union, not by any individual acting unilaterally. Some parents have faulted the recent admission policy restricting the minimum age of students into tertiary institutions to 18 years, citing its negative social impact on students. The parents called on the federal government to reverse the policy in their separate interviews with the news agency of Nigeria, NAN, in Ibadan on Thursday. Recall that the Minister of Education, Professor Tahir Mamman, recently said candidates seeking admission into tertiary institutions in Nigeria must be 18 years and above. Rotimi Omoni said the policy should have been implemented to ease out students presently under the 6334 education system without any disruption. And that is the news. I am Eugenia Solomon. Keep watching Assets Television for more interesting programs. Also like and follow all our social media handles. Thank you once again for listening.
Welcome to Ascent Television, your best station for news, politics, business, sport and entertainment. Your one-stop channel, Ascent Television.
Hello and thanks for staying with us on Ascent Television. And welcome to the issues of the moment. I am Sunday Ayami, and with me is Emmanuel Ozomena. On the program today, we'll take you around some topical issues in the polity. Nigeria is not done with oil issues yet. The main query is who is in charge of selling Dangote's products and to who? NNPCL denied that they were going to be sole distributors of the product, especially the petrol, and left it open. But the marketers are also threatening that if Dangote sells his product solely to NNPCL, they are not ready to leave the product from there. So Nigeria is in a situation where nobody believes and nobody knows where the oil is going to come from. Who will sell? Who will buy? From who? And to who? For some time now, the North has been saying the current administration, led by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, has taken over the security situation in the country. Have they forgotten, or have we forgotten so soon, during the period of Buhari, where every northerner occupied the space of security apparatus in this country? Have we forgotten so soon? So maybe the current administration is coming with its own vendetta to also take charge of the security apparatus and make sure that they are well protected and Nigerians are well protected. Unless you don't believe in this idea, then maybe we have to look for self-help somewhere. In recent times, VAT has been a controversy in Nigeria. Increase upon increase. Last week, Atiku, former vice president of Nigeria, has been shouting the hell out of him, warning the present administration that Nigerians are going to pay more and are suffering with the increase of VAT recently. Nigerians are going to pay more. What is going to be the situation after Atiku's outcry? Will it help the situation? Then let us round up. We will be rounding up with the month of September. The month of September, every time in Nigeria, has always been a month of cultural activities, especially in the southeast and south-south and southwest, where people celebrate Yam Festival. A community in Cross River State is not left out of it. So we'll take you around all these issues, and by the time you stay with us, you would know that you would have had a fun-filled time. You are welcome to Asset Television once again. Now, Zemina, you heard what is going on now. This petrol issue. Don't know when Nigerians will wake up in the morning and they will tell us that it has been resolved and settled. So, because now Dangote said, NNPC told him that all the products will be routed through NNPCL. For marketers will now come to buy from NNPCL. And marketers are saying, we cannot buy from NNPCL if the price is not liberated. So what do you see about this one?
Well, I think to begin with, the situation in the petroleum industry over time, we had thought that with the coming into signing off of Petroleum Industry Act by former other maybe political issues that needs to be resolved around oil and gas.
Hello and thanks for staying with us on Asset Television. And welcome to the issues of the moment. I am Sunday Ayami, and with me is Emmanuel Ozomena. On the program today, we'll take you around some topical issues in the polity. Nigeria is not done with oil issues yet. The main query is who is in charge of selling Dangote's products and to who? NNPCL denied that they were going to be sole distributors of the product, especially the petrol, and left it open. But the marketers are also threatening that if Dangote sells his product solely to NNPCL, they are not ready to leave the product from there. So Nigeria is in a situation where nobody believes and nobody knows where the oil is going to come from. Who will sell? Who will buy? From who? And to who? For some time now, the North has been saying the current administration, led by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, has taken over the security situation in the country. Have they forgotten, or have we forgotten so soon, during the period of Buhari, where every northerner occupied the space of security apparatus in this country? Have we forgotten so soon? So maybe the current administration is coming with its own vendetta to also take charge of the security apparatus and make sure that they are well protected and Nigerians are well protected. Unless you don't believe in this idea, then maybe we have to look for self-help somewhere. In recent times, VAT has been a controversy in Nigeria. Increase upon increase. Increase of VAT recently. Nigerians are going to pay more. What is going to be the situation after Atiku's outcry? Will it help the situation? Then let us round up. We will be rounding up with the month of September. The month of September, every time in Nigeria, has always been a month of cultural activities, especially in the southeast and the south-south and southwest, where people celebrate Yam Festival. A community in Cross River State is not left out of it. So we'll take you around all these issues, and by the time you stay with us, you will know that you would have had a fun-filled time. You are welcome to Asset Television once again. Now, Zemena, you heard what is going on now. This petrol issue. Don't know when Nigerians will wake up in the morning and they will tell us that it has been resolved and settled. So, because now Dangote said, NNPC told him that all the products will be routed through NNPCL. For marketers will now come to buy from NNPCL. And marketers are saying, we cannot buy from NNPCL if the price is not liberated. So what do you see about this one?
Well, I think to begin with, the signing off of Petroleum Industry Act by former President Muhammadu Buhari, we're going to have some sort of El Dorado in that sector. But it didn't happen. It didn't happen partly because there are some structural issues. Estimated population. I mean, that's the current estimated population of Nigeria. Why would everybody, the entire country, every Tom, Dick, and Harry here is waiting for a Dangote refinery? I think that's actually, in a very nutshell, it does not speak well for energy security of a country. It doesn't speak well for economic security, nor does it speak well for social security of the country, of refined PMS into Nigeria. And we are experiencing scarcity. It simply means that by the time they take over the sole off-takership of Dangote refined PMS, we would have bigger problems than we are currently having.
That is what Nigerians are afraid of.
It's a simple inductive reasoning. The first question to ask is that how many service stations does NNPCL own across the country? By the last time I think I had one of their officials speak, it's not more than 2,000. Across the country. So if that is what they have, it shows that they don't control the market, because the independent marketers, the other bigger companies, Total, Mobil, and what have you, I mean, they are still there in the market. So the thing is, perhaps NNPC, in my thinking, enjoys monopoly. They enjoy monopoly in terms of they want to. I'm sure in the head of the management of the Crown Dangote. So it's going to be real hell for the country. So what I would suggest is that, look, NNPC should brace up and come alone.
Finally will come up on stream. But again, let's come back to Dangote. Dangote is not getting crude oil free from NNPC. The only thing they did for him was to say, okay, we're not going to sell to you in dollars. We'll sell to you in naira. So why would they? Because if you give me this product free, that is when you will start gagging me and telling me exactly what to do. But in this case, I'm paying, though in naira, not in dollars, as you sell to maybe to foreign, or to sell it to whoever I want to, or to export it to whichever country I want to.
I think the problem is there. The problem there hydra-headed. Hydra-headed in the sense that the moment Dangote started shouting, they are not selling crude to me. For me, I felt first Dangote had left the realm of business, economics, and started playing politics. For me, there was no need for those alarm. No need for that alarm, because to begin with, anyone who sets up a refinery anywhere in the world, the first thing you think about is your stock. Where am I going to get the crude from? I mean, I met someone from South, even call the refined fuel business. It's actually an international product. So Dangote, what I think he should have done is, look, even if it's in the North Pole that he finds crude. Let him buy, refine, and do business. But in the last couple of weeks, I think he was acting like a politician, if you ask me, not like a businessman. Because if I was his advisor, I would have told him, look, the company should focus on getting crude from anywhere in the world and then decide who to sell their product to. Because it's a business that people are going to ask for. Across West Africa, you have almost 400 million, a population of 400 million. So it's a huge, huge market. Even if he says, let me serve West Africa, he's going to earn money. But what I saw in my own view was simply leaving the realm of business, economics, and started playing politics. And this is the result. Perhaps he played into their hands. And that's why they will now be the people to determine who he sells to. The other day I saw a statement from NNPC saying we have sold. So what it means is that for NNPC they were trying to fit into political correctness, which also I think is a ditch. Dangote,
we have given him the required product. We are now expecting him to
reciprocate. So is Dangote who dug this ditch for himself? He didn't need to. Because he should have seen it as simple investment. It's just by coincidence that the refinery is located in Nigeria.
You also know that they couldn't have gone to the other countries to buy crude oil. So when we have crude oil,
no. You know the crude we sell is the revenue from the crude is what runs the Nigerian economy.
Yes, we know.
So and to earn foreign exchange for Nigeria is a priority because you need to build your foreign reserve. That's number one.
Yep.
If our economy is largely driven by revenue from crude, so it means that we shouldn't have succumbed to the politics of Dangote. That's simply what I'm saying. And Dangote also shouldn't have dug the ditch for himself. And this is where we are. So I don't know. I mean, it's a rat hole.
You have not seen the product itself, the petrol from Dangote refinery. You have not seen it. Neither have I. From water, clean, clear. And people are doubting, is it going to be the sort of fuel we're going to use for our cars? But then when they came out to say that it's one of the best products in the world, the only thing you can differentiate it with is the smell. It has that smell. Because it looks like, for those who saw it, like kerosene. It's clean, clear like water. Do you think Nigerians are going to work on this product because they are already expecting some doubt?
No. If you ask me, this is simply marketing, which Nigerians are not interested in. Nigerians want fuel to fuel their car. I mean, by the time you get to a filling station, you are not likely going to ask some of those questions. What I think they are doing is simply marketing. Look, we're not interested in those. I mean, for me, that's what we should focus on.
Let me take my car from point A to point B.
To point B. But these other ones are simply spin. You know, these are marketing spin, which I think are inconsequential. It's not a big issue.
Okay, now let's leave Dangote alone now and go to another issue. For some time now, the North has always been complaining about the security apparatus of Nigeria, and that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has hijacked all the key security apparatus to one section of the country. But they need to be reminded too that in the past dispensation, under the presidency of Buhari, it also
issues in geopolitics of Nigeria. If you look at Nigeria, a country of over 500 ethnic groups, so you are likely going to have this type of conflagration in terms of, I didn't get enough, my tribe didn't get enough, my ethnic group marginalized and all that. So it's an unending complaint and it will remain, so long as there's Nigeria. I mean, that complaint of domination or whatever would keep coming. But I think the main issue is this. Like I had argued during the time of former President Muhammadu Buhari, I said, look, the President of Federal Republic of Nigeria is a commander-in-chief. And if he's a commander-in-chief, the decision on who should be his service chiefs, the defense chief, security chief, is his remit. The board stops at his table. And because he's the commander-in-chief, if anything goes wrong, you also hold him accountable because he's the appointing officer. So whoever he deems fit in his view, I mean, to be fitted for the job, I mean, it's well and good. For me, it's not a big issue. But naturally, like every other thing in life, it will be politicized. For instance, if you look at the current appointments, whether it's in the military, whether it's in the security agencies, paramilitary, and all that, people have complained. Oh, it's there. You have more Southwest representation at that level. I mean, for 8 years, President Muhammadu Buhari was there. There was nobody from the Southeast, but Igbo people didn't kill anybody. I mean, they moved on, yes, knowing that nothing is permanent in life. I mean, life is about constant movement. And then, in fact, there's a philosopher of the old called Heraclitus, who said the only thing permanent in life is change. I mean, that you can't put your feet twice into the same water. Because if you put your feet and lift it up, the course of the water would have changed. So that's what it is. Perhaps, for me, what I think anybody who is a Nigerian should be concerned about should be, is our life secured? Is it more secured now than before? How do we ensure that people, lives and property are secure? That should be our key goal, not about where the holder of the office comes from. For me, it's a non sequitur argument. It's not a big issue. If you ask me, it shouldn't be.
For quite some time now, Nigeria has been battling with this insecurity situation. There is hardly any day that you will not hear that somebody has been kidnapped, somebody has been killed. The situation came even close to inside the city center in the FCT here. How do you think that with all these things, we are down shifting blames from one place, whether the north, whether the south, or the southeast? In your own thinking, how do we intend, how should Nigeria handle this insecurity?
No, three things stands out. For it, at the moment, the world has grown. In 1960, at independence, Nigeria was less than 50 million. Today, we're dealing with 138 million population. So the demographics have changed.
You said 230 before.
Yeah, 238 million. Thank you. I beg your pardon.
Yeah.
So what it means is that the demographics have shifted. In 1960, how many people were urban dwellers and how many people were rural dwellers? So change in lifestyle also comes with its own new dynamics. So, but again, we have a police force in Nigeria that is over 100 years. The military is also over 100 years. So, the question to ask:
what will you say is the police ratio to Nigerians?
Okay, as at the last time,
because the United Nations or thereabouts say, yeah, there's supposed to be
100.
One police to 20.
Okay.
Nigerians.
Yeah, but again, if you ask me,
can we achieve that?
That's not even the main issue. The main issue at the moment is this: how do we recruit? We need to talk about recruitment. Under President Muhammadu Buhari, he had approved recruitment of new intake into the police for 10,000, and for 4 or 5 years, the people in authority couldn't agree. The argument is between the Nigerian police force and the Police Service Commission. In fact, the thing resulted into litigation that ended in the Supreme Court. Supreme Court was to rule who has the legal constitutional remit to hire for the police. Supreme Court ruled in favor of the Service Commission, Police Service Commission. But it took, I think, about 5 years. So what I'm asking is that the resources that were invested in that venture, hiring lawyers, spending man-hours, yeah, and then that recruitment was not done until after that litigation. In fact, I think currently that process is on after 5 years. So that shows, first, a nation that is not serious. Well, if we were serious, all we would have done, if we had recruited 10,000 by now, we would have been saying, let's ramp it up to another number. Yeah. So we need to get.
Maybe we would have been achieving that maybe 20
the parity
to 1.
Yeah, police citizens parity. So that's number one. So we need to have a system in place where recruitment should be an ongoing thing. not necessarily one time you say we are doing recruitment. Say, for instance, if you go to U.S. Federal Bureau of Investigation of America, if you go to their website, they have a particular section on recruitment. So what if you open it, it will ask you, would you want to work with us? If you want to work with us, you fill a form. So recruitment should be an ongoing thing. It's not what now you say, oh, we're going to recruit 1 million, we're going to recruit 10,000. So that also shows, I think that system should change. Where we say, look, we need to have a recruitment process. I mean, the current IG the other time said we need to recruit on a constant basis. So can we get something in place where over time we recruit on a constant basis going forward, so that you can be increasing that number of resource for the police force? That's number one. Then the other one should be training. I mean, policing has changed all over the world. So it means that you need to mainstream technology in police services. And the more technology you mainstream, because even the society itself is getting technologically advanced, is getting more complicated. It's new dynamics are emerging. So we need to ramp up the technology part of policing. Very, very important.
Like when you were talking about policing, I just recalled over the weekend, hundreds of cadets came out from Woodhill, the police academy.
In Kano.
In Kano. Now, see, I remember too, when a very senior police officer who was in the finance department of police, now retired anyway, he said, this policy is not as if it's not good of recruiting 10,000 every other year. It's not as if it's not good. But when you stay with the same budget every other year, that's when the police will suffer it, because you don't have that amount of policemen that are retiring. You understand? And you keep pumping 10,000 every year into the police force, and maybe those that are retiring, maybe just about 100 in a year across the country. So the budget is still stagnant. So how do they cope with it? So that's the issue.
No, I think there should be...
Because it's not as if more people wouldn't have been able to retire. But there are some who have, many of them who have doctored their ages to still remain in the force. So this is the issue, because everybody, at the time they came into the police force, maybe some of them were not actually computerized to know their actual ages. And even if you know, of course, the Nigerian system that you and I know, you go to your cabinet office and you doctor your particulars, you pass out with some naira, and that's it.
No, I think the issue of financing was actually the next point I was going to talk. How do we provide the needed resource for the police?
First, how do you ensure that the people that are coming into the police force or any other security organization,
I think what to do is, if the services, the security services across board, whether it's DSS, whether it's Nigerian Police, Nigerian Army, Nigerian Navy, Civil Defense, Customs, all they need to do is to have a creative, and functional recruitment system that is responsive. It's simply, in 10 years, for instance, you know people who are going to retire by reason of age, by reason of number of year of service, and then you would have planned and made effort. There should be, you could say, there should be that's what my argument about constant recruitment, not just waiting for one big lump size recruitment. Recruitment should be an ongoing thing, in terms of, as people are retiring, as people are leaving, even voluntarily, you should find a way of filling up those gaps. And it should be a constant, predetermined process in terms of a structured process. But I think I agree with you that the issue of looking into the financing of the policing system is also important, in terms of ensuring that adequate budgetary allocations are made, and to ensure that we have a proper policing of the country. Because if you don't have a finance, how are they going to work? We must ensure that they have whatever it is that they need to do their work.
Now, see how we can run up the
Welcome to Ascent Television, your best station for news, politics, business, sport and entertainment. Your one-stop channel, Ascent Television. Welcome to Ascent Television, your best station for news, politics, business, sport and entertainment. Your one-stop channel, Ascent Television.
All right. All right, welcome back. We're still on issues on the moment. And then on a lighter note now, I want to remind you that every September, you know what happens across the country, except those who don't have yams to celebrate. It's time for yam celebration. And people are celebrating it and celebrating it real time. It happened over the weekend that Apiapon community in the Obuvra local government area of Cross River State, they rolled out the drums in celebration of their yam festival. Let's take it out and watch for some time. Yeah, welcome back. You saw the visuals there coming out from Apiapon in the Obuvra local government of Cross River State. They are thrilling ones. That is real culture on display, and we'll leave it at that now until when we come back again for the next episode of Issues of the Moment. I have been here with Ima Ozemena.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. You are welcome.
Welcome to Ascent Television, your best station for news, politics, business, sport and entertainment. Your one-stop channel, Ascent Television.